Good night, America. Welcome to the Fowler Show. This is the Richard Fowler pre-show. I'm your host, Richard Fowler, obviously, in the first story of this segment for you. Congress wants to regulate Twitter because they have too many prostitutes advertising their goods. Yes, America, it is true. Representative Chris Smith, a Republican from New Jersey who sits on the subcommittee investigating human trafficking, has asked, wait for it now, for Twitter executives to come down. He wants to have a hearing about the fact that prostitutes have Twitter profiles. And in my mind, I see this on, but I think this goes both ways for me, and here's why. Like, all right, so fine, yes, prostitutes are doing illegal things on Twitter, but the company's been pretty clear. We really don't regulate Twitter. Our policy is pretty simple. We do prohibit pornographic images, but we don't really regulate them until another Twitter subscriber complains, or they hit the report button and say, I have a problem with X activity and it violates your code of ethics or your code of conduct for Twitter users. So I don't really think that Twitter is wrong here, and I don't really understand why Twitter has to get dragged in front of Congress to stop prostitution. Listen, America, you guys, prostitution has been around since like the coming of time, man. I mean, Mary Magdalene, Rahab, we can go on and on about prostitutes being like since the beginning of time. I don't understand why this congressman is, talking about regulating human trafficking. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. There's a different situation if the women that are advertising are being, they're underage, or there's a pimp and they're being abused, and we should be very mindful of that. And if that's what this congressman is trying to do, then he should get it done. And obviously, folks, you already know I sit on the Amara Legal Center board, and that's what they do. They work on stopping sex trafficking and helping those individuals that are being sex trafficked get the justice that they deserve and the justice that they need. So I agree there. But to drag them in front of Congress and have a big long debate just so you can grandstand for your constituents doesn't pass the smell test for me. It just doesn't pass the smell test. Like, I think there's a lot of other ways we can work on solving prostitution besides bringing Twitter down to a congressional hearing. Let's be real. And, there's other things also. The State Department they do monitor and combat human sex trafficking. Luis, he runs that office at the U.S. State Department, and they are dealing with the issue. And, I think Congressman Smith, he's just really grabbing for straws here. There's more things we can do to solve sex trafficking than having a congressional hearing. Let's pay women a fair day's pay for a fair day's work so they have other alternatives. Really, though. Seriously.